Hey Raz, hey Scott, how's it going? Alright, trying to get organized, everything's a mess here. UK burning? What the hell is that about? And I really need to clean this place someday. Maybe do some tomorrow. It's the little heart, little heart button at the bottom right of chat. It's for the live stream stuff. Oh, okay, Raz, I got you. Yeah, basically typical stuff these days. Yeah, it's doesn't sound like it's much fun over there. Hey, what's up, 234? How's it going? Just bear with me 1 second. Still trying to get organized. It's nuts everywhere, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. It's kind of messed up. On a side note, I sanded down these arms today, and this resin that you use, Raz, is strong as shit. Stuff is really, really strong, so, which is good. It's just crazy. What's up, Eric? Yeah, New Jersey's got got some fire issues going on. It's all because we haven't had rain in like months. Hey, what's up, Henry? I tried to do my leaves the other week, and it's so dry out that they blew all back all over the place, so they're not staying in piles. And the town hasn't come to pick anything up yet, so I don't know if they're waiting for rain or something. Kind of sucks. Done. Police is over there. Right now I'm gonna attach the arm to the Star Trek one. Police one I did a lot of sanding on the shirt. So we just gotta kind of keep working on the shirt, and then next time I can work on the skirt. What I did today is, well, I tried some days this week, but I tried to sand down the arms. I realized that the resin the Raz used is really hard to sand like evenly. So I figured I'd chop up the arms a little bit more and put Aves on it, and then this way it'd be easier to like shape with sanding. I'll show you in a second. Let me just mix this up. Which is good resin, it's just a little difficult to sort of sand down those textures and stuff. Alright, Raz. That's fine. So, I'm gonna attach her arm, but for the nun, you can see her arms look really skinny. But I chopped them up and sanded them down because it was too hard to try to sand these arms down with this resin because it's really good, strong 3D printed resin. So it's better to build the arms up and then sand it down. So we're gonna fill up her arms, and then for the police officer, I just got to keep working on the shirt. But I figure by the time I mix up some stuff, attach parts, then later on, then maybe I could kind of tune it up a bit. So for the Star Trek, which is, yeah. Here. Very well, attach this arm now, and then I can start doing her outfit next time. Glue, Insta-set. Keep this arm attached. Hey, what's up, Iceman? How's it going? Hanging in there. One of those weeks that went by super fast. I guess because I'd just been working like crazy. And before I knew it, it was Friday. It was kind of weird. Never heard of this stuff. Hey, Once, how's it going? Alright, we got that on, so we're going to let that set up a bit. And then I can sort of seam it up a little bit later. Sand it down. Let's pop this out so I don't break her hand. Now for the nun, I want to doesn't want to stay where I want it to. Yeah, I don't know why you're having problems with it. I never do, but yeah, if you can find something that's better, go with it. So what I need to do is her arms. The best way to do this take saran wrap. I need all this saran wrap here. Yeah, go with what works for you, man. If that's what works, go use it. I just like the Duplicolor because for the way it works for me, it works great. But then again, it's probably your country's rules, because there's always different rules for different, you know, companies and stuff. So. Yeah, you guys get the safer stuff. We get the more dangerous stuff. Well, more dangerous than what you get, but less dangerous than China. Yeah, I heard that they banned some of that stuff. Canada bans everything. They don't like anybody using anything that's bad for the environment or toxic or who the hell knows what else they're doing. Canada's a little strange. Yeah, I'll give you a heads up. I don't know when I'm gonna have free time, so I'll give you a heads up. I'm hoping next year is the year I'm like free to do different things. Really trying to catch up on people's projects. It's been a while since I had like free time to do anything extra. Why would you need a painter? I thought you were doing pretty good with your own painting. Oh, I got you. You should see if there's anyone local to you too, that maybe you can actually, you know, see it in person once in a while. You're the master now, man. Got everything going pretty good. Where is my X-Acto? Well, that I can understand. It's always nice to do the one thing you like. I get into that groove where it's like all I want to do is sculpting for a week, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, well, nah, I want to paint this week. Some baby powder. Be some of the do what these guys on Patreon do and bang one out every like week. Yeah, I don't blame you. I think some of these guys on Patreon are starting to outsource their work now because a couple of the guys that I sort of follow, you can tell that they announce different sculptors for different sculpts. And because I'm like, there's no way one guy could bang out all those sculpts. But some of them I'm not really too fond of. But as long as their patrons are happy, I guess it works. Alright, that's a good start. I'll have to sand it down, and then I can start tuning it up to make it look like latex. Hey Alex, resin is basically plastic. It's polyurethane plastic. So 2-part resin and printing resin is the same thing. It's a chemical reaction. So 2-part resin is polyurethane, where you mix A and B together and you get this type of resin, basically. But 3D printing is sort of the same thing. It's a resin that cures with UV dye, UV light. So it's kind of, it may not be polyurethane resin. It's more like, I forget what kind they call it, but it still is resin. I forgot what they call the 3D printing. Is it like AB resin or something? But the 3D printed resin is just as good now as regular polyurethane resin. Because the stuff that Raz printed, this stuff is really strong. UV resin, okay. So it's basically resin, it just has a chemical reaction a different way. It's basically probably the chemicals are all mixed together, but when the UV light hits it, it cures. Whereas liquid resin that you pour together, A and B, it's a chemical reaction. It's when A and B are mixed together, it bonds, it cures. So it's just basically a different type of resin. A model of King Kong. I do know the guys that go to like the Wonderfest show in Kentucky, they're always selling like Godzilla and King Kong stuff, but that's a lot of traditional sculpt. But there's that website, CG Trader. I mean, I can look right now. It's called CG Trader, and they have like thousands of sculpts on there. King Kong. Yeah, there's tons on there. You have to look under object files though. And they got tons of sculpts of King Kong. Tons. They have low res ones, big res ones, they have ones fighting Godzilla. So yeah, I don't really deal with a lot of the monster stuff. And a lot of the guys I know that were into that go to the Wonderfest show, but I don't know where they post anymore. There used to be a site that they posted on, but I don't know if that's around anymore. I haven't gone to it in years. I even forgot the name of it. Yeah, that's right. Etsy probably. There's a couple other STL file sites that have stuff. You can kind of venture into and look around. When it comes to Godzilla and King Kong stuff, if you really want something that's really really good, and that's really well done and casted and sculpted. Like Prime One and a couple other companies have done some good stuff, but you might pay top dollar for those. But if you're looking to do something on your own, that's kind of hard to say. Like I said, like Scott says, Etsy, CG Trader. What I like to try to do though is, excuse me. If I'm gonna buy a file, I like to buy the file of who sculpted it, because there's a couple STL sites and sort of like Etsy that resell files that they bought or got from the sculptor. So I try to do my research and find out who sculpted the item and then try to buy it from them. if I can. That's what I try to do if I can find out who did it. I gotta put this aside. Where is the rods? There you go. There's another one. Cult 3D. Wasn't there one more? I think there was one more. There's probably a few out there. I don't really know. A lot of those styrene kits and stuff, that's a lot of older school stuff, I would say. A lot of that stuff nobody really does anymore. Like I said, if you really want to get into like these characters, you got to find STL files and have them 3D printed. Because people are making them like crazy and they're being pumped out every week. So there's so many out there, you just got to look for them. But I'm not saying that the quality is going to be great, but there is a lot of options. It's a different market now. Even a lot of the guys that used to do the old you know, monster kits and in like the garage kit hobby, a lot of those guys moved on to 3D printing because, you know, 3D sculpting and 3D printing can get out faster now. So a lot of that old stuff you either have to search on eBay or go to the hobby shows like Wonderfest, Monsterpalooza, and see if anyone's selling like old kits they never painted. You should try to go on and find Wonderfest, which is in Kentucky, not Wonderfest Japan, and see if there's a Facebook group that sells a lot of their kits that people buy at the shows. You never know, you might run across a couple of those old like Predator, Alien, Godzilla type kits that people are selling off. I forgot the name of the damn forum I used to belong to. I got rid of the forum a long time ago because people stopped posting there, kinda. But I know they moved to Facebook. No, not Statue Forum. Statue Forum is more of the superhero stuff and pre-painted stuff. Yeah, Jersey Fest, they're not, I don't think they're doing Jersey Fest anymore. I think that's why I'm not really talking about Jersey Fest, because I think that's over with. I mean, if they're doing it next year, I haven't seen any announcements. Yeah, Gundams are still popular. But I just think like the monster Godzilla side of it is, I think it's moving more toward the 3D print stuff. I think. I could be wrong. But like I said, I'm not really on that side of the hobby much anymore. So I don't know what people are really making. I mean, for all I know, they could be busting out like, you know, monster and garage kits like crazy, and I'm just not in that kind of hobby much anymore. I don't know, do I still have that one site's link on my... I think I got rid of it. Damn, I forgot the name of it. Let me see. I did a cleaning of all my bookmarks like a couple months ago. Yeah, I got rid of it. Yeah, no, I don't have it. I got rid of it. Oh yeah, if you... Maybe you can ask around. Don't be afraid to ask a couple of the vendors when you go to the show, you know? Like, just because they don't have it at the table doesn't mean they might not know somebody, you know? That's what I would do. I'd sit there and, like, just say, hey, you know, I'm looking for some Godzilla kits, I'm looking for King Kong, blah, blah, blah. You know, sometimes those vendors might be like, oh, I got a friend who's selling a couple of those. That's what I do with comic books. Like, if I go to a vendor and I'm like, well, you don't have what I'm looking for. Do you have this, this, or that? And they're usually like, oh, yeah, I got that back at the, you know, the warehouse. Just here's my card and just email me and we can work something out, you know? Same thing. I just know, I think it was, before the lockdowns, the one Jersey Fest show, there was like 3 guys who sold like, they got tables and they cleared out their closet of like old kits, and they had all these rare kits that people always have been looking for, and they were selling like hotcakes. But the guys who were selling them were like, I'm never gonna get to these kits, so I just wanted to get rid of them. That's the time when you get lucky, when you find some older stuff. Is when people clear out the closets. Yeah, Eric, it might have been the same year I was there. You know, when they, I forgot. There was like 3 guys selling their collections. Well, it wasn't really, well, I guess you could call it collection. It was kind of like cleaning out the closets. Well, the garage kit hobby that, you know, because I always say the garage kit hobby was the guys that I got into that got me all into this, and, you know, they were really into the monster stuff, the Godzilla stuff. It was a different time with, you know, sculpting and making kits and stuff, so you would only get like, you know, maybe three or 2 sculpts a year from all the producers, because, you know, people to sculpt these items traditionally took a long time. So it was a different era, that's for sure. Yeah, there's isn't there like vehicle type Star Trek shows? I think. I know the vehicles are big. At those vehicle shows, do they like sell like other kits too, or is it mostly just strictly like vehicle stuff? I've never been to one. I don't know where they're at. Well, I know when I went to the Wonderfest last Wonderfest I went to, I think was 2009. And I know there was there was a vendor there that had like spaceship kits out the ass. There was literally, I think it was like 5 tables of just spaceship kits. Yeah, the RC market's big all over here. If you go to the Hobby Town stores, they're really into the RC kit stuff, and they hold like tournaments in there and stuff like that too. At least the one by me, it's got a little track in the back. Did they build RC cars, or was it just the Pinewood Derby stuff? That's good, Alex. Yeah, there's a bunch of options out there. You just gotta hunt it down. That's the only problem. Everything you're into, it's out there. It's just a matter of trying to find it. There's got to be some YouTube channels that people talk about shows they go to, you know? Was the Robbie or the other thing, like, was it built from scratch or was it a kit? I don't always know those characters, so I would have to actually look up what you're talking about too. That was always my problem in going to like Wonderfest. There would be guys telling me about like monster kits or Godzilla kits, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. So because I'm more into the superhero stuff. Okay, yeah, you know what, once I get this sort of seamed up, I'll take a look at the character. Yeah, before Jersey Fest started, when I went to Dave's house before he started it, and I used to, you know, meet all the guys there, and they would be telling me about Godzilla stuff. I'm like, I don't know who that is. I tried to learn as much as I could, but so it's Robbie Robot? Let me see. Just gotta take a look. I've probably seen it, but don't remember it. Oh, okay, yep. Now I know what you're talking about. I got you. Yeah, that was before my time, so... I was never really into like the Godzilla stuff or King Kong. I really don't watch that stuff. I pretty much lived on Transformers and like G.I. Joe growing up, Looney Tunes. I know my father watched that stuff a lot, and I think my brother did too. You ever bring it to any of the show's contests? That's the one thing I miss about the Jersey Fest show, is I did love the contest stuff. Just to sit in there and see all the stuff people built. I always enjoyed that. Yeah, if they bring back Jersey Fest, I'll definitely let you guys know in chat. But I mean, if you can, I would look into the Wonderfest show in Kentucky. It might be up your alley if you've never been there. I remember when I went to that one my first year, which I think was like back in 2006 or 2005. And I was in awe with the contest. Like first time actually, you know, like, cause I was on statue form a lot, and you know, I was getting into the hobby more and more. And then when I went to Wonderfest that year, cause I took the class, I was just in awe with the contest. The amount of detail and the stuff people built was amazing. The only thing that sucks about the contest is I don't care about the awards of the contest itself. I want to sit there and talk to people on how they built their item. So not knowing who built the item and not being able to talk to them was what sucks. I know they do it because they're into the awards and stuff, but I would rather sit there and just talk to people and just learn how they did their techniques and stuff. That's more important to me than getting awards and stuff. But I use a BSI gel. Where's my tube? This stuff, ice gel. Comes in a box like this. This stuff is great because it's a gel. It doesn't bleed and it cures up fast like super glue, and it doesn't cloud either. If you have a painted item and you glue an item with super glue, and if you don't use Instaset, what happens is super glue will like cause a cloud of whiteness over your paint, whereas this stuff can still cause a cloud, but not as bad as super glue, because super glue's got that very strong gas that comes out of it. But this gel stuff is better because it doesn't bleed. Like I tell everybody, if you're gonna get in the hobby, get this stuff. I find this is the best stuff. When I put on Roger's arm, I'll show you. I'm going to work on that in a second. But I just want to make sure that this is where I need to get it to sand. Yeah, super glues, I would stay away from super glue. Super glue is the worst thing to use on statues. If it's a pre-painted item. If you're building it, super glue is fine. Like if you need to glue a head to the body and then you're going to prime it, super glue is okay. But if you have a painted item, you don't want to do that. Trust me, that stuff is bad. Put this aside and I can sand that down, get that organized. Alright, so for Roger, I'm going to attach his arm. Alex, I have no clue on that. Alright, so we're gonna bend this rod. It's gonna go into his arm. So probably need about this much. Let's see, that might work. Let's see, it's too long. No, that works. So I'm gonna have his arm sort of bent backwards like this. There's gonna be a little bit of a gap, but that's what the glue is for. Just gotta make sure I leave the head on. So we gotta jam some A's in here. What's the other thing? Oh, gotta get back onto the Star Trek arm in a second. Okay, so that's good enough for that. Put this in here. Hey, what's up, Jacob? Busy week. Hopefully yours is going well. As I said earlier, the week went by fast. You know what it is? I think it's because of the shorter days now. Felt like, cause I'm so used to being able to like go for a walk around like 6, 7 o'clock, but like 5 o'clock it's dark already. Alright, so as far as this glue, this is why I like this glue. So I get my Instaset a little bit in my tube. And then here's the BSI gel glue. So just take this, put this here like so. Let's get this sort of out of the way. So I'm gonna have his arm like this. So the great thing about this gel glue is, like super glue with this amount of like it being far away, you wouldn't be able to do this. But with the gel glue, it doesn't go anywhere. Just a nice gel. And you can grab your Instaset or zip kicker or whatever you got, and boom. That's just to help like lock it in place. And then what I'll do is it's not even over there, but what I'll do is I'll rebuild the arm in the correct way, and it'll work. If you try to put your gel glue back on it now, what'll happen is it'll clog this up. So we gotta let that Instaset go away. But his arm is not positioned correctly, but I'm going to sand it down and even it, because I needed this arm to be like there. So, and then what I'll do is I'll put a little eaves on it, and it'll cure up. Oh, the Instaset goes everywhere. It bleeds like crazy. It's absolutely crazy how the Instaset goes. I use a lot because I'm still building the kit. But if I was to glue this on with a pre-painted item, I would dab Instaset in with one of these, because it's just, I don't like Instaset going all over my paint. It seeps into the paint really crazy. But yeah, so that's a little bit off on the arm, but that'll get tweaked. So we'll just let this set up aside. I'll get back to it a little bit later. I have a lot of problems with the Insta set on some of the... Well, I don't have Garage Kit's flesh tones anymore. So, I really don't... Some of the paints I have now, it doesn't cause much issues. But yeah, just the problem. My problem though is they make these bottles so tall instead of fat. These things tip over on me now. So one day I got to get better bottles. Giovanni, I don't do 3D sculpting on a computer. I customize my statues traditionally. I repair and repaint, so I don't do 3D sculpting, if that's what you're asking. I don't use the spray bottle anymore because I don't know if you have that problem. The little white cap, every bottle I got, the white cap would pop out on me. Yeah, Giovanni, I do a lot of customizing. So I'm working on these 3 Jessica Rabbits right now. So yeah, this is we're turning this one into a nun, one into a police officer. So all that pink stuff is re-sculpting it all. So yeah, it's a lot of traditional stuff, but customizing though. Yeah, so what I do is you know, like for instance, someone might send me like a blue and red Spider-Man, but they want a black Spider-Man outfit, and I'll take it and I'll convert it. I have a lot of my stuff on my videos on the channel you're watching now, so you can kind of see a lot of the stuff I do. But yeah, these were ES Monster 3D Jessica Rabbit sculpts. He did cloth ones and nude ones. So we printed out the nude ones, and we're doing a nun, a cop, and a Star Trek outfit. It's a good sculpt. I like what ES Monster did with it. Yes, this one right now is the Star Trek. Where is it? So that should lock that arm in pretty good for me to sand it down. And then next week we can start working on our outfit. We're gonna put our hands over here. So I think what we'll do is we'll start from the top down. We'll work on here, we'll work over here, then we'll work getting the sleeves on, and then after that we'll work on the skirt. Because if I try to handle the skirt and then do all this, I might break it. So we can actually start moving on this one. Alright, so I had a chance to do the police officer badge. So let me get this clay off my hands. What do I do with the police? Oh, here we go. Alright, so I got the badge sanded down off a piece of Aves, and I figured a big badge like that would look good on her hat, like so. So what I was thinking of doing is maybe drilling a hole in here and put a nail here, and then when I attach it, the nail could go into the hat and stay instead of trying to just glue this on. So I'm gonna go grab a nail. I gotta find one. Well, what I'm going to do is so what I'm thinking of doing is putting a nail through it, right? And then this way I can sculpt the carrot, because there's going to be a carrot symbol, you know, because she's going after Roger Rabbit, so... And then if I put the nail through it and I glue it, I can cut the nail later, and I can Dremel a hole in here, and I can just kind of like nail it in. And it'll stay a little bit better. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because if I try to just glue this on, it might not stay. At least the nail, I can Dremel a hole and kind of like glue it in a bit or something. You'll see what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go Dremel this out real quick, so you can. I gotta just put a little hole through it. Alright, so I just put a hole through there, and I just put the nail through it like that. And then what I'll do is I'll sculpt a carrot on top of this to like lock it in place, but also to hide it. And then from there, when I'm ready to put this into the hat, I could Dremel a hole. Now if this nail is too long, I can always sort of just shave it down, but also kind of help me hold it too. So the best way to do this is grab the glue again. Let's get our, we don't need to go crazy with glue, so sometimes a piece of wood's fine. So we'll just grab some glue here. Hopefully it stays and doesn't pop out. Sometimes it will. So while we got our A's going, let's see if we can come up with some kind of carrot design on this. I have the idea in my head somewhat. thing, the way the carrot usually is, what I'll do is I'm thinking like a carrot like Bugs Bunny would usually have. So he would usually have some kind of piece come around top, which will loop around. But the carrot usually has a little. And where is my? I guess we'll use this brush here. Not that one. This one. So then once that cures, we do is do a little line, come around this way, and then some like it's a piece that sticks out of the carrot. And then once it's painted up in a gold, it should look pretty decent as like some kind of symbol. So that should be a good start for that, and then that on top of there. And when she has the carrot in her holster, that should work out pretty good too. Now his hand, I sort of sanded down, but I need to fix up the edges. What happened is when I put these fingers on, the lines weren't lined up, so I figured try to line up his gloves a little bit better this time. It's hard to get between the fingers though. Get this crap off of here. So this way when I sand them down, we'll have that line there. Put these aside. So this glue should have dried up pretty well by now. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll put a chunk of Adhesives on this. And I can sand it down. Only thing that sucks about the glue is if the glue is showing when you hit primer and paint, it's kind of it doesn't sand right compared to A's. So I try to get all that glue out of there by chopping it up and filling it with A's or something over it. So you can kind of see there's some of this glue showing under here, sorta. So what I'll do is when I sand this down, I'll Dremel that out and I'll put eaves over on top of it, because it doesn't like the sand right. So my friend gave me the Roger Rabbit movie, so I got the file. I have to go through it yet still, but I want to do the thing with his eyes sticking out, so I got to look at the movie to see how it's positioned on him. I'll have to find a good couple stills on that. Next is, I want to work on her collar, since this eaves is probably getting tough enough to do it. So I'm going to roll this out. How is her collar? Let me look at some closer pictures. Hey, what's up, customizer? How's it going? Fast week. Can't complain though. Getting stuff done. Hopefully yours is going well. Just trying to find my Roger Rabbit Jessica pictures. Hope I didn't close them all out. I just need to look at the movie to see what I could come up with. I'm sure I can sort of figure it out. Here's my pictures. So where is the police outfit? Alright, so her collar is sort of bent and it has the points at the edge. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do the eyes. It's still something I'm thinking about. I just gotta look on the movie and see. If I think it's not going to look right, then I won't do it. But if I think I can pull it off, I will. So her collar is a triangle around. So I think this is long enough. Yeah, so let me flatten this out. This will work. What Supergirl are you doing? I think the thing right now for Supergirl is everyone's doing the clouds, you know? What's up, Devastator? Is that fight tonight? I'm not even paying attention because I saw a picture of Mike Tyson, like, kind of retired and Mike Tyson out of retirement. He still looks like he's going to destroy everybody. So, I mean, it's a joke, right? I mean, like, who would really take this serious? I mean, again, look who's fighting him. I'm not into boxing either, but even this I'm thinking is just a joke. Yeah, I mean, like him just like getting back into boxing again and working out. I mean, he looks like a tank. I mean, at the end of the day, we all know it's just for a cash grab, right? So what I'm doing right now is trying to create the collar. So figure how well this is going to work, but we're going to try. If they wanted to pay me just to go fight Mike Tyson for a couple million or even a couple thousand, I'd go in there and just try and hit the best I could, hit the ground, and get paid. But nobody would want to see me get hit. Well, maybe some people, but... I think this is going to look right. Maybe I can make it work. Yeah, 3 rounds I'd never survive. If you give me at least maybe at my age right now, 35 seconds, maybe I could do it. But 3 rounds at my age, nah. Maybe if I was back in my 20s, I'd be stupid enough to do it. Unless I really just wanted to end it all and don't care anymore, then I would be like, alright, just throw me in a ring with Tyson, let him just take me out. I'm not into boxing at all. I never watched it, never cared for it. I'm not really into sports in general. But didn't Tyson do some kind of match like this a long time ago where a guy only lasted like 30 seconds and still got paid out the wazoo? Yeah, that's it. That's what I remember. But wasn't that back in like the 90s though? So this is like nothing new, right? This is just a YouTuber screwing around. Like, I can't take it seriously because he's just a YouTuber. And he's a YouTuber that caused a lot of crap back in the day. So, I mean, yeah, he's working out and everything, but can't take the guy serious. Yeah, I think Tyson just wants to kick some ass real quick. He's probably just being retired is like, yeah, I need to get back into it. It's funny you mention it because I think I saw like something of it like the other day, and I just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Tyson, even him without working out, getting in instead of fight, like, still looks like he's going to destroy him. I mean, look what he did to the. I always laugh when in Hangover. Even then, he was still a beast. I can't get Hangover out of my head with Tyson. Okay, that'll be cleaned up a bit. This out of my way. We're getting back into static electricity with the winter, so that's going to happen a lot. Now, those MTV celebrity fights were a blast. But you can't do that these days because the celebrities are very, very sensitive. And they cannot handle anything. How does this look? Maybe not as far down. Do it up more here. Plus, aren't all the celebrities moving out of the U.S. now? I know that Snow White actress lost it online again. No, I didn't know anything about that Devastator. And I love alien stuff. Love my X-Files. Yeah, Jacob, it's just so stupid. But then again, I don't care with celebrities. You know, I used to fight with my cousin and my brother back in the day about these celebrities don't care about anybody, blah blah blah. They're rich little, you know, whiny people, but you know, oh, you're just a hater, blah blah blah. But now you can see it. They're just paid shills. That's right. Once the Diddy tapes come out, then we'll see. that still cracks me up, the Diddy stuff. That's right, Iceman. Yeah, I like the theories that, you know, the ocean has more secrets than space does to us. It's everything. So, like, I listen to Coast AM every once in a while. I love that stuff. It's more entertaining than entertainment from Hollywood. Well, I don't call it Hollywood, I call it something else, but YouTube won't like that. So I said, I'm waiting for the Diddy tapes to come out. I think that's why everybody's losing their minds in Hollywood. They don't want us to see how much of a deviance they are. Watch, I get kicked off YouTube for that now. That happens, I'll be on Rumble. Someone's got to do it. Nah, celebrities will do anything for money. Just look at Mark Hamill. That dude has lost his friggin' mind. $800 or $700 for signatures now. You gotta vote how he wants you to vote. Using Star Wars as a platform. It's crazy. Oh, okay, customize. I got you. I wasn't sure if you're doing like a floating pose or something. The stuff I use for a magnet, there's two sizes. I'll get you the sizes. Hold on. Let me wash my hands real quick. That's funny, Jacob. Devastator, I was kind of always doing stuff as a kid, but it wasn't until after I graduated art school, I started, and I got a full-time job, I started doing more anime kits and stuff. But I started doing this full-time in 2014. Alright, now write this stuff down or save this video. This way you can find the correct rods. So 3/16 by 12. Make sure they're magnetized. 3/16 is the size, 12 is just a 12-inch rod. And then there's 1/8 by 12. If you find them zinc plated, they're usually magnetized, but there is rods that are just zinc that are not magnetized. But if you get the K&S rods 8154 and 8152, the 8152 goes to this size, the 8/1/8. I'm almost positive, let me double check. So if you wanted to, you know, make the key system, is this the right size? No, this is not the right one. Sorry. It's 153, I think. Is this it? No, that's the right size. It is. It's the right size. It's just that it's not shaved down a bit. Sometimes the rods are a little bit too thick and you gotta shave, it's rusted. 152 should be right. 154, 153. 154 go 8154 goes into the 3/16. think these rods are a little... I just bought these K&S. Why are they not going... I just bought these. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. What's going on here? I have so many of them. 253. 253. No, 153. Hold on, bear with me. That's strange. I got a whole bunch of them in the garage. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see. This, you know what happens? This could be an old rod that I have issues with. I have new ones here. So I have new ones, right? These are brand new ones. And these are new K&S rods though. See, now that one fits in there perfect. You know? So I think what happens is sometimes these rods are a little bit thicker than what's here. But this, yeah, so 152 is the right size. Definitely should be the right size. You know what, it might be crushed too. This looks a little bit crushed in there. But some of the other ones I have. This one was sawed. I have to sand down the edge. It's really tight on these for some reason. I don't know why. So what I do need to do sometimes is I do need to sand these rods down. So I have my spin wheel on the Dremel tool. Alright, so I'll explain this a little bit better now. So, this has happened to me in the past, but this is what I always do. Whenever I cut a rod off, right, so say I needed to cut this rod off and then I put it into her hand, it should fit in this brand new rod with no issue. See how it fits in there, no problem? Well, what happens is, whenever I cut my rod off, I use this spin wheel, you know, these little sandpapers you screw in, and what I do is I buff down the rod. I buff down the rod and I go down with it and I sand it all down, and then I glue it in, you know, I attach it into the rod there, because what happens is sometimes these metal rods, they start to rust up in the store and they're not perfectly flat, because if you look on this, they're like, you can sort of see there's like rusting on there and it's not perfectly flat. But if you look at this one here, I buffed it up and it's nice and shiny, which means is I took down the metal. So that's what you need to do with these pieces, sadly. You know, even this looks like fairly new and good. You still got to sort of take it down because it does sort of have rusting and it's not perfect. And this piece you can see is sort of bent. So anytime I do my rods, I'm always going in the garage and I buff this down and I sand it and I sand down the edges a little bit too. You don't need to do a lot, just enough. And then before I actually cut it, I always put it in the rods to make sure it's working correctly. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that it's going in like this and it works good. And then I cut it and I do my whole magnet system. So these are definitely the ones you need. You need 154, 8154, and 8152, and you need 1/8 and 1/16. I'm sorry, not 3/16. Alright, so that's kind of what I usually do on all my stuff. It's a pain in the ass, but once you get the system going, you get used to it, it works. Yeah, and also make sure if you find these at a store, because I buy these at a Tractor Supply, make sure they magnetize too. If you want to do the magnet system, if you want to just put them in if you just want to put them in like the bottom of a foot into a base, it could be zinc. It doesn't need to be steel. But if you're going to do magnets with them, make sure they're magnetized. So bring a magnet with you and just hit the rod, because I bought these off eBay a while back, and they were just zinc. They weren't actually zinc-plated steel, and I realized they didn't magnetize. But you have to clean them up, though, sadly. Sometimes you might buy these rods, and they're actually greased up to all hell, and you have grease all over them. And sometimes they've been in a place and they're rusting, because you'll see rust all over the, the stickers. So these are brand new, but I've bought some where these stickers were all rusted out and you couldn't even see anything. So you can sort of see in this one, it starts to get like rusty and it gets all funky. They do have bigger ones. Like I've picked up these bigger key stock ones. See how big this sucker is compared to these? But I've never found a K&S rod that works with the bigger ones. But I use these if I ever have to do like a really heavy statue and I need to make sure the piece won't break or fall, I'll use something like this. So they do have bigger ones if you need them. Yeah, that's like even I have trouble finding them. Like I can get these, I could get the K&S stuff, but the metal rods, like lately I went over to Tractor Supply and asked them to do a special order, and they never called me back, so I guess they never got them in. Now you could do it with circles. They do have circle rods and they do have circle K&S. But the only reason why I don't use the circle is because if you put it in, it could turn on you. But yeah, definitely invest in a Dremel tool and get these Dremel sandpapers. They do break off a lot and they get worn away, but they're great for when you start using them and sanding down. But you have to get used to locking it, unscrewing it, put another one in and on. It's a pain in the ass, but these wheels are great for really buffing and sanding stuff down. That's why I have about like 10 of these tubes, because I go through them a lot. But once you get your system down and you get used to, adding everything, they'll this keying works pretty good. I just did it this morning with the Dr. Voodoo. I got the rod in there in his neck. There's magnets in there, and I put a new rod in his neck, so it clicks in now. So now when I put his cape on, it'll stay better. Instead of trying to utilize the key that came with it. So once you put his cape on, and with a nice strong magnet system, it'll lock the cape in now. I don't have to worry about trying to magnetize it. It's just a pain in the ass. You got to get used to dremeling it. You got to get used to lining things up and create that whole system. But once you get it done, it makes things a lot easier. I do it so much now, I got it down to a science. Yeah, no problem. I don't mind helping. I just know I've told people in the past how to do it and they have trouble with it. It's something I came up with a long time ago, and it's just that just keep practicing it and trying to line them up and getting used to it. It'll come as long as you keep trying. The only problem with that, Iceman, is not all keys are keyed good once you print them out. So like Ownage, like they what they do with their keying stuff is they cast the item with the key, but in the past they used to have a hole and they would just glue the magnet in. But sometimes that glue pops out, and then you have to glue the magnet. It becomes a pain in the ass. Like I said, I'm at the point now where I can do these magnets in my sleep, so I'm so used to being able to line up the rods and get the rod in there with a magnet, and they just go in no problem now, and I'm good to go. I mean, whatever works for you, but I go above and beyond with my magnets. I like to make sure that they stay in. And plus, I'm always customizing, so I end up having to chop up the keys anyway. I would rather do this system than try to sculpt the key and make sure the key is going and sculpt the key and then try to put the magnet in that key when I could just put a rod in there and create the magnet myself and I'm done. It's actually easier this way than to create a key, but when you're sculpting in your, you know, on your program and then you key it, that's different. I remember when I first started doing it, I had to set up an arm, and I remember I was trying to key it because, you know, you want to make that key at sort of at like going to like a triangle, you know, a pyramid, and then cut off the top to add the magnet. And I was sitting there sculpting the key, and then I would push the key in the item, and then I would pop it out, and then I would add the magnet, and it wouldn't line up correctly. And it's such a pain in the ass. I said there's got to be a faster way, and that's when I came up with the rods. The only downside about 3D printing is sometimes those keys get a little wonky, and that's why I just chop the key out and I say screw it. Well, any magnets work. I've been using these circle magnets because my brother had them, and honestly, he didn't want them anymore and stuff. So you know, so I just use these magnets. You know, they're for like screwing around with making sculpts or whatever. You know, but I've been using these just to use them up. And then I got, you know, tons of different magnet sizes in my little bucket thing. But whatever works, works. I usually order them off Japan. I order, like, you know, a whole, like, arsenal of magnets every once in a while. Because they are expensive. And I'd rather order them in bulk. So what I'll do is I'll order, like, 25 millimeter wide by, like, 3 millimeter thick. And I'll just order all a bunch of different sizes. And I got really, really strong ones too, like really big ones, but I hate pulling them out of the case because they just grab shit all the time. But they got all kinds of magnets. They got square ones, they got circle ones, they got round ones, they have ones with holes in them. Alright, let's see, so that arm's got a cure, those are curing, those are curing. Her shirt's looking pretty good. Of course there'll be some fine tuning on it. Sanding. Trying to think of what else. I gotta sand up her arm some more. Some of this texture is still here. I gotta sort of get some of this texture off. Might as well put some putty on it now. Camera doesn't want to go. Putty stick. Here it is. Since these arms are bare, I gotta get this texture out. This texture in this print is crazy strong. I think Raz put some extra stuff in these prints because they don't want to sand that well. Well, that's a good plan, Iceman. If you can set it all up into 3D, make your life easier. Yell at Iceman. Tell him to make a YouTube channel on how to do that stuff. He's just getting too lazy. He's just sniffing primer all day long. Gotta tell him to get his ass out there and make some tutorials. Yeah, it's full of tutorials, but we need an Iceman tutorial. I don't know, just getting lazy. Just getting lazy. Don't be posting them like 5 years from now when AI just prints stuff out by a prompt. Gotta get it out now, man. Ah, man, I wish this texture wasn't on these arms. Such a pain in the ass. think the shirt's looking pretty good. We'll have to do pockets next time. This way I can make sure this is all lined up correctly. Make sure there's also another spot over here I need to fill in. Spot over here. Alright, so I think we'll, where are we at now? I gotta do the money sign on the bag, and we also gotta set up a spot for it. Okay, so on to her. So as far as the nun goes, I didn't do much on her. Stop that. Oh. There we go. Alright, I think I'll save the line work next time, but I just want to go over the stuff I did. So I did sort of sand down her wrinkles I did last time, but I didn't get all the stuff. So I did prime it, but there is some areas I gotta still sand. You can see the wrinkles pop a little bit more, but still needs putty work. So figure let's get all this putty on these items now, so this way when I sand it down I know what I gotta do. So just like a spot here, I noticed some bad spots over here. I try not to go too much further on an item until whenever I do stuff like this I get it all seamed up, because over here it's really bad. Because if I don't do it now I'm gonna forget it, and then when I go to paint it I realize I forgot that whole section of fine tuning. So I figured let me get all this tuned up first. What it is, it's the A's meeting the, whatchamacallit, the resin that's wasn't perfectly uniformed. So that's why I gotta do this putty to get in these little areas. I'm slapping on a lot because I figure by the time I get to work on it, it'll cure up pretty well. Because this stuff doesn't cure super thick fast. Thin it does, but putting enough on there to really fill in these gaps. Figure I probably won't get back to sanding these till maybe Monday or Tuesday if I get back in the garage. It's the only downside to sculpting. Sometimes you got to do this little tedious stuff. Not too exciting. Another spot, I think there was something, this one right here. Okay. Alright, with that being said, got to do her lines to finish out the corset, which we'll do next time. I need to sand this down first. Left too much residue. As far as her legs go, I was thinking, I don't know if I need to do a wrinkle here. Above the knee a bit, I think. And then I don't know if I should do a wrinkles here. And trying to think of where else. Usually when you bend the knee you won't see anything, but I think I need to fill in the knee a little bit. I think it's too like, it doesn't feel like there's anything on it. Maybe we'll just fill it in with some putty, give it a good layer of putty. That might solve this issue. There's going to be latex, it's a little too cut into the knee. Same thing with the ankles. A little too cut there. Put this down a bit. Okay. Now what I do try to do sometimes is take my light, blare it down, see if there's anything I don't like. This is, he really cut the knees a lot with the outfit. So if we have latex on her, it won't be as indented, I guess you could say. So when I go over it with some soft sandpaper, it'll kind of clean it up a little bit more. It won't look as nude, I guess. Same thing with like this spot over here. It's not filling it in a lot, but just a subtle amount will make a difference. So I went in with Adhesives, it would fill it in a lot more. I don't want to go that route. Just enough to get rid of that deep cut. And then when you look on this side, sort of see some areas that are a little too high. And also like right here. A lot to clean up. But once I smooth it out, gloss it up in black paint, it'll look good. A little bit of a spot here. Sometimes I just throw some putty to sand because I know I gotta sand this spot here, so I just throw a little bit more there, a little more there. And I'm seeing a printing line. This is a printing line here. So I'm going to throw some putty over this line. Lets me know to sand this down now. What do they call those printing lines when you sort of see those lines on the printer? I forget the term of that stuff. still a little spot here I don't like. Putty here. And here's some spots here. From where I attached the leg. Well, I think I think this was the attachment of the leg. There's a little some build up here. Get that cleaned up. See if there's any other spots. Spots, a little chunk of piece taken out. Spot underneath her breast. Where's my other tool? It is. Spot under here, I'll have to clean up. Alright, looking pretty good on that. Not really seeing anything else, just some sanding. I got a little spot over here to sand down and a spot over there. Alright, so a lot of cleaning, a lot of detailing on these legs. Once I get all that done, we finish up the line work. Try to get these gloves finished. Once the gloves are done, then we can start working on the neck. And then start planning out the hair. Like once we get the neck done, then I'll have to really finish up the lines here. I gotta still find something. I did have that metal rod, but I still want to find something else. So I gotta figure out it. What I want to do is I want to sort of Dremel into her butt, like it's actually pushing her butt in a little bit too with the line. So that's why I gotta find a good rod. I still gotta hit the one boat store by me. It's like, it's not really a boat store. It's kind of like a hardware store, but they do have a lot of specialty stuff for boats. And sometimes in there they got some weird things that might work. So I'm gonna have to step in there maybe over the weekend, see if they got anything. I'm sure they got something that'll work for her. But yeah, that's just some tedious stuff I gotta do. She's coming along. Her arms are curing, so I'm not touching her arms. So that's good with that. Alright, as far as Star Trek, as far as Star Trek goes, clean up this arm. And then after that, like I said, we'll start working on the top, we'll work on the bottom, we'll start working on the wrinkles here, work out the cuffs, and then after that, we'll work on the skirt. We'll try to make it a little bit loose like the Boju or Kotobukiya figure. It was just getting this hand here all cleaned up. That was the thing that kind of took a little while. she's getting there. Got to clean up the legs too because I was handling it so much with residue on my hands. But as far as police officer, she's coming along pretty good. I like the way her shirt's looking. It's got a nice little toughness to it. Sort of like the cop picture. So we definitely got it kind of closer to this one, but I gotta work out the knot. I'm gonna try to clean all this up, get this nice and tuned up and cleaned up all like around. Get this arm all cleaned up and the other arm cleaned up, and then from there work on the knot, and then we can start working on the skirt. I think the best way to do is we're gonna wrap the skirt around it nice and tight, let it cure. And then from there we'll start working on like tightness and wrinkles and make it tight over here. And then sort of build the belt on. So I don't know if we should build the belt onto the skirt with loops or just build the belt around it. I don't know, I gotta figure that one out. Yeah, it does have the bell bottom, sort of. That's something I gotta figure out how to plan how to do that. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. We'll get it, but it's gonna be tricky. But police officer's looking pretty good. We gotta get Roger's hand on here. We got her logo working pretty well. So we got the start of the carrot for the cap. So what I'll do is next time we'll sculpt a little leaf thing coming around it. And that'll go on her cap pretty well. So kind of have her... I gotta sand down the inside a little bit more, but I can't go too much further. So wherever we work on it, kind of think. You could sort of have it like that with the hair, or more like that, I guess. Not necessarily which one's going to be finished first. There's still more to go. As far as the bodies go, I think the nun will be finished first. Only because, well, honestly, I really don't know, because I could have a hiccup here, and this could go faster, while this one might take longer, but then this one might move a lot faster now that I got the arm on it. So I don't really know where we're going to go, to tell you the truth. Now, like I said, not necessarily. For the nun, I gotta figure out the hair, and I gotta figure out the hat. So that might take a couple extra steps, where the hair on Star Trek might go in like instantly, you know? Whereas this hat with hair might go even faster. I don't know. Well, they're all going to be Jessica Rabbit hair, but this one's going to have the hat. Then this one's going to have the nun hat, but this one's not going to have any hat. So, like I said, whenever I do my sculpting and I'm in the zone with these statues, sometimes the hair or something could take a long time, whereas the other ones go faster. I don't know. I honestly, to tell you the truth, if I had this skirt done, the outfit probably would go real fast. But I'm starting to get into the tedious stuff a little bit now. Because don't forget, we got to do pockets on her. We got to do the rope. Then we gotta do the skirt with the buckle. I have to figure out her straps. And I still gotta do her arms too, because I gotta get those arms to look like latex. So the nuns might take a little bit longer, because those arms are a pain in the ass. So, it might be even. We still got to do Roger's eyes. Got to get his other hand in. Got to finish up the bag. There's a lot to go. The hard stuff is done. Well, I guess the hardest stuff was the bodies. Getting the bodies all prepped. Now it's just tedious work, a little bit at a time. Just can't rush it though, that's the only problem. Oh, but I like the way her shirt's coming though. It looks really good now. Definitely has that police officer look to it. Once we get her skirt on, this one will definitely come together. I don't know, so far what's your favorite out of all of them? You guys like one over the other? I mean, the Star Trek one is kind of blank at the moment, but maybe once her outfit's done, you might like that one better too. Who knows? Yeah, I like the nun so far. I like this part of the nun. I'm really happy the way this part came out. But as far as I like the police officer though, because I have a funny feeling once the skirt's on and the belt's there, it might bring her together some more. Yeah, I think the Star Trek one, I think once we get that outfit on her, it might come together pretty nicely. Just that looking at them, it's still kind of like not quite there yet, you know? But once the Star Trek has the item in her hand too, that'll probably look kind of cool. I gotta figure that out too. I have the idea. See how it works. We also gotta put the item in her ear. That's one thing I forgot we have to do. Yeah, so I'll just try to have them ready for next week. Only thing is next week I got 2 days where I gotta take my parents to the doctor, so I'm hoping if I can get some late nights in, I could catch up. I'll have to see. Well, there's 2 things I'm planning on doing. One, I'm gonna just do the basic movie type hair. Or when I'm ready to do it, if you go on DeviantArt and you type in Jessica Rabbit, there's a lot of AI artwork that's come out, and I like the way the AI has the Jessica Rabbit hair. I'll show pictures when I'm ready to do it. So it's either we sort of follow that or we just go more with the movie. I'm kind of leaning more toward the movie, but maybe one of them we can change up the hair. Like maybe the Star Trek, I don't know, because I have more freedom with the Star Trek one. But we'll figure that out. I don't really want to think of the hair yet. I want to try to get these basic figures done. That's what I try to do. Get the basic figure done, and then do the hair at the end. Because usually if I get the figure done, I have a better idea of where I want to flow the hair, you know? Because the hair that came with the sculpts, I didn't realize Raz probably should have never printed them out. I didn't realize they were sort of... I kind of want to do it my own way. But that's alright, lesson learned. Because just looking at them now, I got ideas, but it all depends if it works. Like I got the movie from my friend, so I'm going to go through the movie when I get a chance. I'm going to look at how her hair flows. And if I like the way her hair flows in certain scenes, then I can probably sculpt it that way. Because if you look at the Jessica Rabbit hair from Sideshow, it's basically exactly like the movie. Whereas if you go onto these pictures on DeviantArt, they do more like realistic type stuff. But there's a lot of options. I'll show you when we get to it. I got a lot of examples that might look good where you guys might say, hey, yeah, do that, or no, that one doesn't work, or whatever, you know. There's so much Jessica Rabbit artwork out there, it's insane. Alright, I think that's where I'm going to cut it today. Like I said, I'm going to try to get these prepped up again for next week. I'm hoping. If I don't, then maybe I could just work on some commissions. It all depends on how much free time I have. But, alright, you guys have a good rest of your weekend. I am going to go be a bum on the couch for tonight because I've been up early working on shit. Alright, I'm out. Have a good one.